Today we're talking about how to set up a trail camera over a well-used deer area. That way you can take inventory of the deer on your property. So if you guys saw our last video, I was out checking trail cameras and it's the middle of winter, the dead of winter, and deer movement is just terrible in the dead of winter, at least here at our place, and maybe in some other places, I don't know. But we just don't seem to get a whole lot of deer movement in the dead of winter, and that's okay because, you know, hunting season's over. But I still run cameras because there's still some deer every once in a while, and I still want to see what deer made it through hunting season, and hopefully I can get an idea of what deer are going to be in the area in the summer so I can target them and make sure that they are staying in the area, whether that be maintaining habitat, getting food sources for them. That way, this is the place that they want to be. Now, even though we don't get a whole lot of deer in the dead of winter here, I did manage to get a couple nice buck on camera, as well as some young buck hitting a scrape that is old, like back from the rut, but some of these buck are still hitting the scrape. So I have this camera on this tree right here, okay? Now back in the rut, this area right here was a huge trail. There were scrapes all here, there were scrapes all over there, and corn was here, okay? So those are my first indicators of where I should put this camera. This camera, I was kind of bouncing around this whole meadow down here because I was trying to find a place to put it. That way I could get the best buck pictures and the best idea of what deer are in this particular area. The main indicators being the scrapes. This was a huge scrape line right here. Scrapes coming from all the way over there next to the woods, making the way up through here and right here along the edge of the cornfield. That was my first indication that bucks are in the area. They're moving through here. They may not be daylight, but the bucks are moving through here, and I want to get a camera here so I know what deer are here. The second indication was just the cow path of a deer trail here. I could tell there was a deer trail, and I saw the tracks fresh. Every time I was down here, the trail was still fresh, which meant deer were staying on the trail consistently. So at least for the time being, I wanted to put a camera here. Now, the third thing was the cornfield. The cornfield this year was up longer than anticipated. The farmer who harvested it was having a rough year and was getting behind on some of his corn, and this field was one of them. But it was kind of cool because this cornfield here was a barrier to kind of us, per se. We're not far from our barn, and the deer, this cornfield acted as a wall, a barrier, and they felt safe and secure down here. So that's why, without hesitation, seeing the huge deer path and the scrapes, I was like, the camera needs to go here. Now back to the cornfield. This whole area here was corn, as you can see. It's just kind of this strip and then it goes up into the big field, and that's an alfalfa field right there. So the deer used this cornfield for a lot of reasons. They used it as cover, as trails and travel, and as food. The deer were traveling out of the woods over there, coming this way, with a huge trail right here, making scrapes along the way and having a scrape line right here. I put the camera right there on that tree, looking over these scrapes, and the deer were hitting them and the buck were hitting them. So those are the main big things. The indicators, like I said, look for trails, fresh trails specifically, look for scrapes if it's the rut. Look for disturbed vegetation. For example, this cornfield was destroyed basically at the one part of it. I could tell deer were coming in and out of it. And you can put these tactics to use in the summer and any time of the month. Because right now it's the winter, there's snow. This is a good time to go and look for deer trails. Put your cameras next to field edges, next to where deer come out of the woods and into the fields. Look for trails, like I said. Look for all these things. Even just look for random tracks. You'll find yourself some deer. So don't hesitate. Try new areas, experiment. Like, I'm always moving cameras around, kind of depending on the time of year. I'm always moving cameras around, trying to find the best area for deer. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you want to check out the cameras that I use, there's links in the description. And if you want to check out the last video of me checking trail cameras, just go to the channel page and find, it's in the link in the description somewhere at the bottom. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.